Welcome to Who Dinks Wins from the special Pickleball service with me, Coach Montgomery.
And me, Coach Philip.
And me, Coach Berisford, and introducing to my left here this week's special guest, Chris Valego.
Woo! Welcome, Chris.
Thanks for having me, boys.
You're welcome. Fantastic that you're here.
It's token colonial this week.
Oh yeah, the accent and everything.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Well, remember, they've got the accents we don't.
That's
People
right.
keep saying to us, that funny accent. Right, I don't have an
No,
accent.
that's how I talk.
You talk, you have an accent.
Yes,
Yeah,
stop
exactly.
talking like that.
So the man with the accent, welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Oh, it's awesome. So this week we're talking about transitioning, and the very politically.
Into women or not?
Well, we can do maybe later on.
I can speak about that then.
So we're talking about the transition from tennis and other racket sports into pickleball. I looked at Tinterweb the other day, and it looks like there are tens of thousands of pickleball players, 40 plus in the Bay Area alone. In fact, in America, 48.3 million people have played pickleball in the last year. And in California alone, 23 million registered tennis players, so just in this one state. Mm-hmm. And what we're finding is that a lot of people are making that transition, that jump from tennis and I suppose other racket sports into pickleball. In fact, you're getting people from all over, all kinds of different sports playing pickleball because it's so accessible. And the reason why...
Did you have a figure on how many have gone from tennis to...
I haven't got a clue.
No, I wonder whether it was in there.
There is also a bit of a resistance, which I'm hoping our special guest can talk about that. But the reason why I brought Chris in, he's a great friend off the court, but he's my nemesis on the court. He slices, dissects, and absolutely murders me every time I play. And in fact, the only time I feel any sort of pleasure or comfort playing with him or against him is when either I'm playing with him or he's playing with Craig. So when he's playing with Craig, I think I've got a chance here. But otherwise, I'm in all sorts of
Craig,
trouble.
I don't know who Craig is, but you're assassinated live. But the important thing is that you can drink more beers than he can.
What, than Chris?
Yeah.
Oh, I probably can drink more beers than him. I just haven't got a clue
That's
or
the
I'm
important.
totally hopeless on the court. Because Chris is one of these players that's just tactically brilliant. He knows when to come forward, when to go back. He's just got a great touch, and just for one so lithe, he generates just such power, such spin, incredibly accurate. And he's also, when I play with him, he's, as I say, tactically he's really good. So he's able to coach the coach, if you know what I mean. To come forward now we go back, and he's able to predict the second or third shot that's going to come over. And I find that an art, and the reason why, and you can always spot these people, like ex-smokers, they're the worst, aren't they? Ex-tennis players are just dreadful. And I used to play tennis, I played too.
He used to smoke as well.
No, not a smoker. Not a smoker.
He's really good at
For the record, not a smoker.
He smokes on the court, that's for sure. But he smokes everybody. But he was a junior athlete, one of these up-and-coming incredible tennis players, and there's articles on him, and he's clearly got that sort of tennis brain, and he's brought so much of that sport, brings so much of that sport into the world of pickleball, which we love. And we really wanted just to sort of pick your brain today, Chris, about what it is that sort of made you want to take up pickleball in the first place. How far did you get in tennis? Why did your tennis journey end? And what are the insights that we should be looking at as humble pickleball players that you can really, really glean from tennis? So,
can we ask you as well what your, don't have to give us a story about your whole life, but how your sports story, what you started playing.
Yeah, of course.
You graduated onto when
Sure.
you were a kid and stuff.
Sure. Yeah, I think I had a pretty common upbringing. So I'm originally from the East Coast, born and raised in Western Massachusetts. Yeah, so I'm not a native California. Springfield,
Okay.
Amherst.
where the
so
Simpsons are
The
from.
Simpsons.
No, that's Illinois. Not to be confused. Totally different state. Yeah. There's more than one Springfield.
Okay.
So the western part of the state, an hour outside of Boston. Actually, on the border of Connecticut is where I grew up. A really small farm town. We don't even have a stoplight in town still.
That's awesome.
So
Even now, you don't have a stoplight?
Yeah, even now.
Wow.
Even now, it's 5,000, population 5,000 type thing. So really small town.
You grew up on a farm or not?
No. Didn't do a lot of cow tipping, but occasionally tried it after the few beers.
You
Yeah.
can tell you threw hay bales over a net.
I know. I thought we were going to connect on the farming thing.
No, I did bale some hay. I'm not saying I haven't done that. But
Beautiful.
yeah, I didn't have any farm animals per se.
It's sounding a lot like the beginning of Superman. Imagining in my head some barn in Western Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Go on. Sorry.
Good visual.
Go ahead.
So, I grew up exposed to all kinds of sports. So, played Little League baseball, played basketball, played some soccer, but,
Football.
yes, football for you, yes. But quickly realized, I think some of the height restrictions on those other sports like the basketball started to transition, found tennis. My dad found tennis late in life.
You were a smaller kid than your peers? Is that
Yes,
what you mean? Yeah.
yes, short.
Okay.
I was short. So going up against some tall kids, I knew I had some
Mm-hmm.
limitations.
It's the Italian side, isn't it,
yeah.
that's made you
Exactly. Italian, Polish, not sure. Yeah. So my dad found tennis later in life, and then exposed my brother and I to it. My mother as well, and so they got into it first, and he really enjoyed it, and started bringing my brother and I out to the course. I have a brother that's 3 years older than me, and he got really good. And then I was probably 10 or 11, and was out there, fetching balls, and just started swinging the racket, right? Shortly thereafter, just hitting a lot of balls almost every night. We would go to the local tennis park, and just practice. And then it got into tournaments. Started playing tournaments.
What age was this? Sorry.
By 11, I was playing tournaments because they did 12, 14, 16s, 18s is the way the USTA works. So
Just in-state, around the state?
all over New England.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
on.
so there's areas, so it's
Yeah.
New England. So New England,
That's why you've been playing with your older brothers.
my older brother, and my father, just he kind of groomed us coming up. The age of Agassi and those guys. I grew up in around. So
It's so influential,
same
isn't it? Your
timeframe.
parents, how your parents influence you into things. You
Absolutely.
probably would never have gone anywhere near a tennis racket had it not been for his dad decided later on in life to start playing.
Yeah.
It's so.
So tennis is one of those sports, right, where you don't have to be super tall, and actually, shorter guys can do quite well. I mean, I just, was a little bit faster, I think, than others, and I pride myself on defense, and you can see that kind of transitions over even today in pickleball.
Yeah.
Anyways, pretty much from age 11 up to 18. Was playing tournaments on the weekends, and really, I was getting up before school and practicing some days early in the morning. It was just a really competitive, and lots of tournament play and that sort of thing.
Were there other sports you were doing at the same time, or was this you dedicated to this as your sport?
It quickly, I played a little bit early on, some other sports, but quickly kind of transitioned and focused on tennis. The intent was to go to college, but essentially what ended up happening, so my brother and I ended up, so I told you we went to a small school, and we didn't really have a tennis program there.
Yeah.
So my dad went to a larger school in Springfield, so that was his alma mater, so he sent my brother and I to a private Catholic school that had a good tennis program. So I went from a class of 40 students to a class of 400 students, so much bigger. It was a half an hour or so away from my hometown, so I had to drive or bus there every day.
Yeah.
But got a better education, and got to play tennis. So
Did you have scary nuns?
we did have scary nuns.
Did you?
Yep, priests and nuns as teachers. We had religion every day.
Were you you're not left-handed, are you?
No, I'm
'Cause
right.
that would have been the devil's. They whack it out.
They used to, they
With
used to
rulers.
whack it. When my dad went there, they would whack you with a ruler. That's no joke. Yeah.
I was in
My
a-
ex-wife as well.
Yeah.
Same thing. She's got terrible handwriting now because she was naturally left-handed. They used to whack her across the knuckles with rulers until she would write with her right hand, and now
I
she's
was
got
at a
dreadful
convent-
handwriting.
I was
This
at a convent
only
school.
30, 40 years ago.
You were at a convent school last night.
Oh no, I was at a convent
Jumped
school
over the
from
fence
my
again.
primary school, elementary school, so brought up by nuns as well. And but
Explains a lot.
we didn't get hit too much, but we did get force-fed beetroot, which to this day I can't deal with.
Through that whole period. Yep. Found a little alcohol too, probably in the meantime, and then said, "Well, this seems to be a lot more fun than playing tennis and grinding every day."
Because that's a really hard world, professional.
It is.
Tennis player. I know someone whose son is very high up in England, and he is so disciplined, a bit like Jackson. When you become that sort of athlete, you have to be so disciplined.
So disciplined. Yeah, and I think I realized for me, I was good, but I don't think I was good, and I had the desire, right, and the passion to go to that next level, right, which you really need to have.
Right.
So anyways, at that point, I said, I'm going to go off to the university and focus on my studies. I fell into engineering, and I knew that was going to be a tough curriculum, and so I said, I'll back burner tennis.
You couldn't get a scholarship, though. You didn't want to get a scholarship.
I perhaps could have got a scholarship, but by then I didn't pursue it. Like I said, I knew I didn't want to play tennis through college.
Yeah, okay.
But I went to the University of Massachusetts Amherst, so it's a D1 program, and I knew the coach and other players on the team that I played with. So I could have very much played, but decided against it.
Okay.
And so I hung up my racket. I was done.
Really?
Yeah, I was done.
Okay.
I was that put aside and really needed to get away from tennis.
How long did that last?
It lasted all through college,
Okay.
4.5 years.
Yeah.
And then after college, I had to get out of New England in the weather, in the long cold winters.
I thought there was something worse
No.
about to be explained.
No,
I had
no,
to
no.
get out
In a hurry,
because...
overnight.
Nothing nefarious, just the weather.
Okay,
Just the weather. Have you
Okay.
spent time in any kind of weather like that?
No, well,
I don't know if it's any worse than the
Scotland.
English weather, to be honest. Is
It's
it?
colder.
So it'd be like
It's colder
Scotland.
for longer, and there's a lot more
Yeah.
snow and that kind of stuff.
About
and
1
wind.
month of summer, that sort of thing. Yeah, if you're lucky. Yeah,
Okay.
So it's long
sounds
cold
Scotland.
winters.
where
Right.
did you go from there then? Came
So,
over here?
so I said I'm going to a warm state, a sunshine state, and I have family in Florida, and I had my brother was out here, so he did come out here sooner. He played tennis at Santa Rosa Junior College,
Okay.
and then transferred to Sacramento State,
Right.
and played there. And he said, "Hey, bro, you can crash on my couch until you figure things out," and that sounded pretty good
Right.
to me,
Right.
So I put a backpack on and I went to Sacramento.
Lots of women crying back in Massachusetts as he got on the bus.
And the
Right.
and the father of the bride still trying to find you with his double-barrel shotgun. How old were you now then?
That was just out of college, so that was in 1999, so I would have been 24-ish.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
So kind of came out here, Women of Prayer, and California Dream, right?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
As far as getting back into tennis,
Yeah.
I said I picked it up recreationally again out here, right, on my own terms, and said I wanted to do it.
What was that
for fun.
moment then? Where you thought you needed to lose a bit of weight, or you needed to meet some people, or
No, I missed it, and just kind of wanted to get back out there and get some exercise
Okay.
and have some good experiences with it again.
yeah.
You're up in Sacramento at this point?
Yeah, Sacramento, and my
right.
brother was still playing, so was happy to pick it up again. Just on a fun base level.
Sacramento.
It's the state capital, you know that, don't you?
I did know that, but I forgot it.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
state capital.
Yeah.
I did. I knew it wasn't Los Angeles.
No.
Well done, Mark.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
So you're registered California now.
Don't
aren't
ask
you?
me where all the capitals are in the country. I wouldn't know, but no, I did know Sacramento.
Nobody knows
was.
that. They're all made up.
Are they?
Yeah, they keep changing them.
So when did you come down here?
So a year or so after that, I landed a job in Santa Clara.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, and then started playing some tennis down here.
Okay.
And the recreation turned into a little more competitive. Some of the guys said, "Hey, why don't you come out and play with us more?" And then, by the way, we got a USTA team. Why don't you join this? And I said, I don't know if I'm really ready to do that, but released some of the competitive juices again, and ended up joining a men's team down here.
Good.
And really enjoyed it. It was good. It was competitive enough, I guess, but I wasn't going for the gold or, trying to, I guess, win any big tournaments, if you will.
Did you ever come across anyone at that stage where you thought, Jesus Christ, he is so good? Why isn't he a professional player?
You talk about yourself?
No. You must have played against professional footballers.
I have.
Yes, so have I. And it's like, Jesus Christ, they got so much
So
time.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
They hit the ball, so it makes a different noise when they hit it.
100%.
I just wonder if you played against any
Oh
player
yeah,
like that.
no. There's. I mean, yeah. I've played with some folks. Growing up, I hit with some players like Jim Courier. You remember
Oh,
stuff
wow.
like
Wow.
some of those guys came through and did an
Jesus Christ,
exhibition.
you faced a serve from him, did you?
Well, funny story.
I've often wondered what
Funny
that
story. Exhibition tournament in Springfield, Massachusetts, and I'm one of the ball kids, one of the ball boys.
Okay.
So we got to come out and meet the players and hit with them a little bit. And so I'm one of the ball boys in the back corner, of the tennis court, and Yvonne Lendl hits a first serve, and the guy in front of me is basically blocking my vision. I don't see the ball 100 miles an hour or whatever it was to the gut and just drops me, just keels over on my
By
legs.
Lendl. That's
By
awesome.
Lendl, yeah.
Did he apologise? What was he like?
Well, not really. So I saw him back in the locker room afterwards. We were getting some autographs and stuff. I said, thanks.
I
thanks
hope you kept that ball and got him to sign it.
I
didn't, did you?
I don't know if I kept the ball, but I did say, I said, hey, thanks for hitting me with the ball, right?
Yeah.
And you know what his response was?
You shouldn't have been
Get
there.
out of the way.
You should have been paying attention.
Yeah, probably true.
Genuinely, what he said, he wasn't
Yeah.
compassionate or sorry or anything.
No, he said, you should have been paying attention. And I was like, I could have been paying attention, and I still wouldn't have seen that
No.
blistering serve, right?
Yeah. I mean, these pros, the balls move so fast, they have to almost know what the shot is before the servers hit it. They come so fast. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Same in cricket. It's exactly the
That's
same.
still obnoxious, though.
I think that's pretty rude, isn't
That's
it?
really rude, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
We were
They're-
talking
they're
about that
quite
the
odd.
other day, about deliberately hitting people, targeting people on the court, and I was saying how incensed I get when people hit it deliberately at you, and then they just turn their back rather than apologise or whatever. But there's something in me, it's the judo player, I think, that comes out.
The good thing about this podcast is probably next week Ivan Lendl will write into the show and we'll apologise.
Yeah, maybe
Yes,
he will.
get him
So
on.
that'll,
I think
He
so.
plays some pickleball now, too.
we'll give him an opportunity to
Well,
come
don't
in.
they all? Have you seen videos of like there's McEnroe, the
Agassi.
guy Agassi?
Roddick.
They don't seem to be that good compared to
No, I know what you're
compared to
saying.
me, yeah, but
Yeah, of
compared
course.
to professional players, they aren't as good.
You
at
would
all.
think
You'd
they would be better
they'd
than they
up to
are.
that level straight away, wouldn't you?
Well, let's talk to Chris about a little bit about the transition now, shall
Yeah,
we?
we should,
About
because,
from tennis to pickle, and what happened there?
Yeah, so so I ended up joining courtside
Yeah.
to play tennis.
Okay.
That was the idea.
How
So
long
you've
goes-
moved nearer now.
Yeah, so I moved near now. I live in Campbell,
Right.
and joined the club after many years of, just being aware of it. But and said, okay, I want to play some more competitive tennis.
Yeah.
So I started, and I found a group of guys, 4-0, 4-5, some 5-0s in there. Started playing with them. Really good guys, really good competition. And then, lo and behold, you look across the way and you see these pickleball courts. And,
noisy balls.
Yeah.
People laughing and shouting and
People drinking on the court.
drinking,
yeah.
having fun.
So yeah, I
that's all that
I
about.
got curious
Okay.
about all that.
How long
And,
goes this?
So a little over 2 years now.
Okay.
I've been at it.
Right on.
So I tried pickleball, right? Because I do like all sports. And I grew up back east. Remember, we have long winters. What we do in the basement, we play ping pong.
Right. Okay.
So
It is big ping pong.
pool
yeah.
or billiards.
It's very similar
So
to ping pong.
so that also gave me a lot of that, hand-eye coordination as well.
Yeah.
And feel. But tried pickleball.
Did you take any lessons? You just jumped straight into
I
it.
just jumped straight in. Yeah, I didn't really need any lessons, just trying to figure out how to play the game.
Yeah.
Right? Just jumped in and learned from folks.
Okay.
And ended up going kind of back and forth between tennis and pickleball
right.
for a period, right? But what I found is I was struggling on both sides of the fence. They were affecting my game, and I couldn't make that transition so easily back and forth with the
interesting.
strokes and stuff.
Yeah.
So it would throw my timing off.
Right.
And I just found that I was having so much more fun with pickleball, and
Right.
I thought it was just a new experience, and I had more growth potential to figure out this new sport.
Interesting.
That's interesting.
And
did,
so-
did you find the physicality of pickleball the same or harder or lighter?
I honestly, I guess very similar. I definitely, more running in the tennis.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Overall, yeah.
Especially when we're talking doubles
But
to doubles.
not such short bursts, I guess.
Not as much short bursts, yes. Pickleball is a lot more short bursts, as we know. But both good exercise. At first I didn't think the pickleball gave much of the exercise, but the longer you play and the longer you have longer points,
Yeah.
then you do get that out of it.
Yeah.
So as a tennis player, as you've been in that world for so long, what were your thoughts before joining pickleball of what pickleball was? What is it to tennis players when they look at it? Is it like, oh, seriously, pickleballers, what the heck? What are you doing? What is that game? Play a real game, please.
Right.
What
There
is
is a lot of that. I think there's that's
Still
the
quite
that's the
snobby.
initial the initial thought,
Yeah.
right? Is tennis, whatever, is an elite sport. It's been an established sport, and then this new sport comes along, and yeah, it doesn't, on the surface it doesn't look like much.
Right, yeah,
Right.
totally.
It's like patty cake.
Yeah.
So I think yes, a lot of the tennis community still doesn't treat it as a real sport.
So at what point did you start to feel like, oh, actually, this is quite good and I quite like this and maybe
Yeah.
I like it a bit more?
Yeah, at what
than
point did you decide to lose your friends?
I think
and get some new ones?
Yeah. It didn't take me that long when I started playing with some better players, and then I saw, hey, there's a lot more to this game than just, dinking it back and forth. There's strategy. There's a lot of movement, positioning, very much like tennis, it's just on a smaller scale.
Yeah.
And
it's in its infancy as well. There's still lots to come and work out. Like tennis is completely, everyone knows all
Correct.
the strategies in tennis. It's been
Correct.
going for 200 years.
Yep.
And pickleball's just started. There'll be new things to pick up, which is quite exciting, really.
It is. It's exciting and it's evolving. It seems like every day. For me, what it was obviously the fun factor, but every time I went out there, I saw myself making significant improvements in my game and in learning the game, right? And so that was really exciting for me.
So key differences, because I spoke to you about running into the net after serving. That was always a big problem for me, who played not your level,
Serve
played
volley.
tennis, serve volley. Using the wrists a lot more in pickleball. You don't use the wrists as much, do you? In tennis, it's more an arm movement.
I would say so.
Though to me, those two, and also
Yeah.
in tennis, you do tend to slam it down most of the times down the line, don't you? That's you do tend to do cross shots and hit it really hard, whereas pickleball you don't need to be hitting it so hard.
Yeah, I mean, I think there can be different strategies. We see that in today's game, right? At pickleball, right? There's bangers, and then there's the folks with the soft game. I play with a lot of what I call bangers, right? And I apply the same technique I did in tennis with the folks that had the big serve and volleyers. I was get it back, just get it back somehow. And pickleball's more forgiving, right? Because even with that smash or that overhead, it comes in hard and fast, but you can only hit it so hard and fast, right? The ball and the technology slows it up, so you have a shot. Maybe even more so a shot in tennis where that ball's keeping that speed, doesn't slow down as much. So I think so. A lot of the same concepts still apply in terms of higher percentage going cross court. But for me, I'm oftentimes trying to slow the game up when I see those bangers, and I think the fact that you have to have both sides of the game to really be successful, you need to be able to hit a hard ball, but also hit a controlled soft.
We're sort of democratized sport in general because it's so accessible. So, I mean, your wife Olga's coming into the sport having never played it before, and you can see from day one to what she's like now, sort of significantly better. Jules, the same sort of thing. People that have never played pickleball. So if you've never played tennis, picking up a racket and playing tennis is quite intimidating. It's hard. There's a big distance between the baseline and the net, and then getting into the service box.
And that's a
etc.
huge difference. It takes ages.
It takes ages to get really good. It's like
You
getting
can
good at golf.
Be good at pickleball in 2 weeks.
Exactly, and
that's why it's such
that's my premise
catch.
of coaching. So on day one, I tell everybody who's never played before, in 50 minutes time, you're going to be playing a game of pickleball. And they don't believe me, and then they're playing a game, having never even picked up a paddle, because it is that easy to play. What do you think, though, so one of the conversations we were having a minute ago, so Judy, and I played two people that aren't as good as us, and they killed us in 2 games. And I said to Judy, they're killing us because we're playing their game rather than playing our game. What's your advice or insight on how, when you're playing somebody that's just going to hit it hard at you, that hasn't got the finesse or whatever, how do you start playing to your game rather than playing to their game? Have you got any thoughts on that?
Sure. I mean, I'm always seeking out the weakness, right? I think you guys have talked about this before. Is you know, because everybody has strengths and weaknesses. So
So mean. I don't do that.
But that's another point to discuss, right? At some
Yeah.
point, yeah.
yeah, every player does, right? So for me, I'm always kind of seeking out.
But only,
okay,
only if you're playing a certain level. I say.
No,
if you're
it's
playing
every
someone
level.
It's
What
every
if
level.
if someone's
Every level.
rubbish and they got no backhand, you keep hitting their back. It's a bit mean, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. So, but it's not mean when it's a tied game and you
No,
know, they're
no.
you know, they might beat you and you go, okay, well now I'm going to pull the rabbit out of the hat and play the backhand, right? So, you know, but yeah. So I think you just try to key in on some of that. And to your point, so play to their weakness, you play to your strength, right? And whatever that may mean. Maybe, you know, a lot of us, it's a forehand. So if you can run around, I tell, you know, in pickleball, that's one of the things, you can run around some of your weaknesses. So if you're fast enough, and you can run around your backhand a little bit and hit a forehand, you know, there's an advantage.
When I've seen you play, I think I would have thought that you would tend to slow the game down
Yes.
more when you're playing against players that are just hitting the ball hard. I would expect you to then just do a few more drop shots. If you get them close to the net, get yourself up to the net, because I think that's probably what builds on your skill, and these players you're talking about aren't quite as good at that. They're better a little bit further away from that and then hitting it hard at you. And if you can just
Yep.
drop it over there, and
1,000%,
I think
right?
that's your
And
sort of game
yes,
more.
that's what I'll come out and do a lot of times, right? So, and I think just staying in points, right? Not trying to do too much early on, right? And play the middle, you know, play the percentages, and build up your confidence, right? And then once you, sometimes the points start coming easier that way, right?
Just trying to make the other team make the mistake, right?
Well,
Just
yeah,
trying
but
to
that's
then-
like when you play table tennis against people, just get it back. It's just so annoying because you end up making the mistake.
Yeah.
And again, the whole time they just get it back.
Right.
I know, and it's the same in pickleball. I know, but it's so boring, isn't it? It's so boring.
Well, I guess it depends what your goal of the game is.
Yeah.
Is it to win the point? Is it to have fun playing, have good rallies?
I know that's
Or
the
to be
thing.
successful. Like,
Yeah,
like
and,
it is,
and it's a
well,
rec game. We're talking
just,
about a rec game,
Have
so
a sweat and go have another shower. You know.
we're talking about having a fun rec game. No one's going to win any prize at the end of it, but some people are a lot more competitive than the others. And if somebody like
Yeah.
Chris, who maybe has that competitiveness inside him because he grew up with that, and he feels like that, like sort of I do, to not win is hard. So you try and pull out everything, especially towards the end of the game. You might start off playing, okay, we'll see how this goes. But then if you start going a few points down, then you think, geez, right, better get on this, and then you start getting very
Have you
competitive.
got a duper rating? What's your duper rating?
I do. It's 3.9 something, close to 4.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, right now. But
How many games
better
is
than
that?
You know
It's-
How many games is that from, do you think? How many duper games have you put in?
oh God, I haven't put any. I've been just playing the local club stuff. So it's a few tournaments at
Yeah,
courtside
because that's
stuff.
probably that's probably less than it should be, but then that's probably just because you haven't had enough games put in.
Yeah, and there hasn't been anything recently. I have, like I told you, every day I feel like I'm improving, and I am. I'm going out and playing with more advanced players and that sort of thing, and holding my own. So, yeah, we know duper is kind of a range of accuracy.
We discussed last week that, and you may have heard it on the podcast, that you don't improve playing the same players all the time.
I did hear that, yes, and yeah, absolutely the case, right?
Yeah.
You got to get the variety and
So
you know
join
how
some
to hit.
tournaments and things like that.
Yeah,
In fact, the bay should be doing more tournaments between other bays.
It's traffic.
I suppose,
Getting from
yeah.
one area of the bay to another, and particularly beach
Depends
traffic
what
on a
time it
Saturday
is.
or
Yeah,
Sunday.
that's
If it's in the
true.
it's certainly in the afternoon. God, it's just hell. It's very difficult.
But we are going to do more.
Yeah,
We're definitely going to
nice.
do more of that. I want to include a lot more
And I'm
mini
surprised.
tournaments.
I'm surprised at the bay they always had the hub. Sorry, they always had the duper ratings on the outside of the courts. Didn't always work, but you knew if you were dropping in, you'd have to play on that court and can't sandbag someone on that court.
Again, we tried that.
tried
that
that.
has been done. Yeah,
And it
Daniel
failed.
did that. Yeah, it didn't work out
Didn't
very
work
well.
out.
Yeah.
What do we think the best sports are from what you've seen? I know I've got my view of what you've seen. What are the best sports but pay you for pickleball?
Oh,
Because I think it's badminton.
me too.
So for some reason, badminton players are just brilliant.
I
pickleball,
totally agree.
Straight up from the off, and perhaps squash. as well.
Maybe, but badminton, I
Yeah,
think
badminton for sure.
that's where I've seen the best improvement in players when they've come from that.
Yeah.
But I think really good tennis players
Yeah.
are better than any other. Because, I mean, the shuttlecock versus a ball is just it's a different dynamic.
There's no
it's
bounce.
a spin.
Yeah.
There's no bounce. So,
Well, the basics for a tennis player, you've got a massive great racket and a tiny ball, and pickleball, you've got a little tiny paddle and a big ball, so it should be
Yeah.
so much easier for you to hit it in the centre of the...
Yeah.
You're asking him why he's not better than he is?
Did
what
I
you're
say
saying?
that? No.
I think
it
you
must
did.
be easy, so why do you keep messing
All
it
right,
up?
let's get out of here and get to the course and settle this.
I know, right? The four of us.
So this brings me on to my next question. What you seem to be really good at bringing on not so good players. So if you're partnered with someone like me, for example, and I oh my God, I don't want to let Chris down. You're really good at, like, good try. You're really, really, really encouraging. I mean, I hope I don't have that reputation where I'm just getting on someone's back because they're doing badly. But how do you?
No, you don't have that reputation at all.
Shut up.
It's
Only when I'm
honestly.
playing with you. But it's just out in the open that you're
No,
rubbish.
the worst thing is when you're having a bad day is having someone behind you go, oh, fuck. I mean,
How do you do that? What's your tips on how to manage that?
Yeah, I mean, I do everything on the court organically, I guess. You know, it's a lot of feel for me, to be honest. But definitely understand that when you're playing doubles, it's a team sport, right? So you're only as good as you are as a team. So in pretty much every game, one player is going to play better than the other, right? And we're all going to go through a streak of missing shots that we should have made, right? And so you can go one of two ways, right? You can go downhill quickly with that, with your confidence, and or you can spin it the other way, right? And say, hey, shake it off, right? That was a good effort. You just missed it. On to the next point, right? So really kind of having short-term memory when you're out there, but just, being a supportive partner, just because it is, a team. So you got to win as a team.
Yeah.
You got to win as a team.
it's the same as
So-
football, isn't it? You slag everybody off, you're never going to win.
Absolutely.
Why do you do it then?
He's looking at you going, that's exactly what you do.
I'm mostly directed at you, I think.
No, but I'm being honest, yeah.
Okay,
You have to lift the team.
Totally, yeah.
In order to win, otherwise you're going to lose,
Yeah.
So, yeah, very good point.
Yeah, and I think talking strategy, right? So you'll always see me kind of do that too, starting off a game or, mid-game, right? Sometimes it's good to take a little break or, hey, what's working for us? What's not working for us? What's working for you? What's not working for me, right? Or, can we get some better positioning on the court? I'll cover this one down the middle, It's all about communication, so.
That's a really big point, isn't it? It's communication. And I found that so Chris did a really good work thing. So he got a bunch of players, people that work just to bring them into the sport. In fact, one or two players, I think it might be Jeff or something, the members down at the club now.
Correct, yeah.
So he organised the whole thing and managed it, and he was really, really good at communicating and bringing people into the sport and that kind of stuff. And do you find that there's a certain personality type that seem to be better than others, or is it just kind of like individual athletes in their own right are better, or whatever? What's the sort of secret?
I think anybody is capable of playing the sport and having success. Yes, you might not be the naturally gifted as the next person, but that doesn't mean you can't go out there and have success early and enjoy the sport. I mean, success to me is, again, going out there and having fun, getting the ball over the net, and having a rally, right? And getting excited and having a little competition. And, once you get the ball back a few times, the game is on.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody gets kind of their juices flowing. And
I think patient people do well, to be honest.
yeah, patience is a big one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a big
like Barry can't, last in the kitchen. I mean, that's why,
It is. It's
it
very,
is what
it's
it
very
is,
important,
right?
yeah.
He just doesn't have the patience. We're going to get him there, though. I mean, there's still hope, I think.
It's a long road, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a very long
I
road.
mean,
There
are
must
you in
be-
therapy yet, Barry?
For my thinking, no.
Your impatient behaviour.
No, I think it's just, I'm impulsive and I want it over. Or I start to lose the belief that it's going to be okay. And what I've sort of realised is that it's nothing to do with my hand-eye, it's nothing to do with my body position, it is purely to do with my breathing. So if I'm not in control and I start to tense up, I'm popping it up and then I'm getting smashed. And I know I'm going to do it. And also I know that you know that I'm going to do it, which is always getting on my nerves. But funnily enough, I do coach, when I'm playing with someone else, I coach them into, like, just be patient, just be patient, just be patient. And when it comes to me, smack up in the air, smash down. Can't help it.
Chris, would you rather be playing with or against Barry?
Ooh, that's a good question. That's also a very loaded question.
Answer it how you wish.
I enjoy both. I mean, it feels like we were playing against each other more than with each other, but the other week we played together and we did quite well, and I thought Barry carried me. I would say, you know, early on, like we're not sure what's going to happen, but he came out guns a-blazing, and he wasn't missing shots. So I said, well, God, Barry's really improved since maybe the last time I played him. But it's always fun to play against him as well.
It's a guaranteed victory.
And see his frustration level go like this throughout the game. Right?
No, that's the best bit.
Yeah.
If not too much playing against him, but beating him.
Oh, that's always fun. That's the ultimate reward.
I love playing with Barry because we have this special relationship. When we play together. But I do enjoy playing with him, especially when I play with his wife playing against him, because the comments she has about him while he's playing is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I don't think you and I have played. Have we played together? I think I played against you. I think a couple of times, but I don't think we've ever been on the same team.
Together.
Have you played with him?
No, don't think so.
Okay.
Nope.
Yeah. I think I would love to have the opportunity to do that at some point.
But can I go back to one thing we didn't actually, I may talk too much probably. The hardest transitions from tennis to pickleball, what were they for you?
You know, like with tennis, you know, you're oftentimes like hitting a volley down type thing, and pickleball's more kind of pushing out. And I think, you know, the body and the different muscles you work, any sport's different. And I think transitioning to pickleball, you feel some different aches and pains that you have to get over, and I think that's why you see a lot of people. You're hitting
the ball completely different way, aren't you, most of the time? Because sometimes you're hitting it like that.
You are. And it's a lot. The ball doesn't bounce as high, right? So tennis, it comes up. So in pickleball, you're a lot lower. So you're bending somehow down to get that ball. I played with my old man, and he thinks this game's rubbish. You know, he just doesn't understand it. He's a tennis player, but I think for older folks, sometimes it can be getting down to that ball that doesn't bounce as high is more difficult, because you're either, you know, bending your knees, which nobody wants to do, or bending over your back and potentially hurting your back.
I find tennis players, when I played against tennis players, have got such a fantastic ability to spin, because they're used to doing that. Top spin particularly, so smooth. Go you.
Absolutely, yeah. I've seen a lot of that, and it seems very natural for tennis players. And trying to teach people that haven't done that before takes quite a bit. It's not an easy skill, but tennis players naturally.
Well, the amount of people that don't know this is table tennis. Don't know someone topsy is supposed to chop it,
right,
and reverse.
What about when you did this transition to pickleball? Did you end up finding you had more specific injuries at all? Was there anything where you were hurting more? I mean, did you get the forearm thing like a lot of people get because of playing pickleball?
Yeah, I didn't. I do have an injury, but I was happy to find out that my body mostly held up, and as we all get older, that's a difficult thing in itself. But arm-wise, I've never had arm issues. I know a lot of folks get the tennis elbow within pickle or tennis. My spouse, she's dealing with that right now. Some leg injuries, that sort of thing. My legs have held up. For me, it's been my back. My low back is giving me some problems in pickleball or just in life. I don't know. Again, it could just be aging.
That's a normal one in tennis as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it can be one in tennis.
So nothing specific to move into pickleball.
No. So before about 5 years ago, before I got into tennis or pickleball, I was playing tennis and I fully ruptured my Achilles. And I think you said you're dealing with some of that. But
to the end of it, yeah.
Okay.
About 6 months.
Yeah, that one's a wretched one. Yep. So that really sidelined me for a long time, and was a tough go, being outside of the sports you love and doing what you love. But so I'm always sensitive or fearful of that. But at this point, it doesn't really hold me back, and just try to stay in best shape as possible.
How often are you playing now?
I'm playing. I was playing more, and now I'm kind of dialing it back because I'm trying to get a little bit stronger and work out some more. Because what I found was I was going to the gym and I wanted to work out, play tennis, do all these things, right? And like a lot of people, you just laser beam. You see that pickleball court, and you end up there. And
Well, you just stand outside it and somebody say, Chris, can you play? Can you come and play?
Yeah.
Just join us, will
Or
you?
just wear the wrong trainers, wear some high heels or something.
And then you
You
don't
can't
go
do
and
it.
lift because you then
Yeah.
spend an hour and a half
Just
or
wear
2
flip-flops,
hours.
then you can't do it.
there you go.
Although some people.
We've got to come to an end in a minute, but do you mind if I ask
Go
one
for it.
last question?
Please.
Go.
Related to what we were talking about, the last episode was etiquette, and I understand that you're a gentleman, Jim. You were on the tennis court. That's what you're well known for.
I did win a sportsmanship award in my
So
in my
are you
tennis.
the same now in pickleball? Are you do you say sorry when it dribbles over the net, or
No, I do. I do feel like that. No, that's important. I certainly do. But let me tell you, I've got a real fondness now for the body bags. I mean, that's a real part of the sport. So I'm not going to say that, I don't aim sometimes for the body, right? And if I do get so fortunate and lucky to hit somebody, obviously not the head I'm aiming for, but, certainly would say, I'm sorry, much like a let or something like
Yeah.
that. That's,
Okay.
something you're not necessarily.
you must find it must be instinctive. That's the word for you to hit the ball into people's feet. As
Yes.
well, which we a lot of pickleball players don't do.
Yeah,
It's not so
that's
instinctive.
always where I'm aiming. Quite
Yeah,
frankly,
yeah.
really,
That's probably
no
why
matter
you do
where
so
you
well.
are in the court, I'm
Yeah.
usually going for the feet.
Yeah, that's the thing to do.
Feet as opposed to a space.
Well,
Space
it
is
does depend on the does depend on the shot, but if there's an opportunity, I mean, obviously, if someone's standing on the baseline, I don't want to, hit the back line or what have you. But I would say anything, at the transition zone or at the kitchen, right? Dropping at the feet is high on the list
Yeah,
of
that's instinctive.
yeah.
Chris, it's been awesome having you here. Thank you very
Yes.
much, my friend.
My pleasure. Thank you for
Always
having me.
better to have you on my side and on this side rather than being against you in anything. So
Well, this might be a matchup right
There we go.
here.
It is.
There you go.
This
I
could,
think
you
we're.
could
I
throw
think
the hammer down.
you're going to have to keep
yeah,
hitting
we'll
it
go
to Phil's weakness, which is of course
Montgomery.
So, anyway, so I'm going to round us up with Who Dinks Wins is broadcast by KCAT TV on Xfinity Channel 15, Los Gatos and Monte Sereno, and kcat.org. And is a great way to reach a local audience right here in the Bay Area. If you want to sponsor the show or an episode and help support the Los Gatos community who make the shows, reach out to us at specialpickleballservice@gmail.com to find out more. You can also listen to the podcast on Apple Podcasts and YouTube.
And we will
Thank you.
address Ujal's question in the next episode.
We'll have to address that one.
But thanks. Keep those questions coming in, please. We really enjoy reading them out.
Brilliant. So it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me, Montgomery.
Goodbye from them.
Goodbye for Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
You did.
Cool.
Thank you.
I talked probably more than I needed to talk.
All right.
No, you did.
Stole the
You're perfect.
show.